sis.
Hey, sis.
Hey, Sister Circle.
I'm your big sis, April.
And I'm your little sis, Tiffany. And we are Sister Talk Network Podcast.
Sisters bridging the generational gap while encouraging candid conversations
and healing amongst women, friends, and sisters. You have a sister now.
Yeah, that's good. Sometimes when I have it too high because I'm short, it's like it's covering my face.
Oh, yeah, your face. I forgot about that.
So,
yeah, it does that with mine, too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, sis.
Hey, sis.
Hey, Sister Circle.
Hey, y'all.
Back for another day. I am your big sis, April.
And I'm your little sis, Tiffany.
And we are Sister Talk Network Podcast.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes.
Hey, sis.
Hey.
On this sunny day. Hey, girl. Hey.
It's
hey.
hot.
Yeah, it is
It's
hot. I don't know where everybody is, but where we are, it is hot. So stay cool. As always.
We praying for Vegas, that
Yes.
115
Ooh.
weather.
And they try to say it's what they call it?
It's dry
heat.
Yes, it's dry heat.
It's
I
hot.
But I actually prefer dry heat versus
humidity.
what we have,
Yeah.
because it's 90 and I'm like
It's hot.
like the dry heat 115, like I can walk around in it. Like that humidity is what gets you sweating.
That is a valid point. But for me, when I was in Vegas, it's still like the sun is still beaming down.
Oh, yeah.
You just don't have that humidity in the air that just makes you burst out, like you said, into a drenching
that
sweat.
turn your hair into some afro puffs.
That's why you need to breathe. That's why you need to breathe.
Oh, everybody in Vegas got braids, because it's like, I'm not doing this.
Braid, and then weave is probably hot too, so forget that. So that's a whole...
Everybody got short haircuts and braids.
That's a whole different subject. But today I am repping Women Encouraging Women, which is an online group that uplifts, encourages, and inspires women. So shout out to them today, and we'll put the information in the description. Check out their online group. So we have been talking a while back about our battles, just like daily battles, whether it be a spiritual battle or a physical battle, and knowing when to fight and knowing when to just say, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about that today, and starting out with just our everyday battles, like things that we encounter just when we're out and about, relationships, family, friends, work, and how to approach them and how we approach them. And I know for you, we've talked about, and your Sister Circle, we've been vocal about, she's like fight mode where I'm flight.
Yeah.
So it's just how different we are and how we handle those differently than we did, say, a year ago or 2 years ago. That's the big difference.
Yeah.
Because you think about it just being out and about in a day, and example, I was in a store, I was in ShopRite, I think it was, and say I'm over by the squash. I don't even know where I was. It was somewhere in the vegetable section. And this lady, she wanted to get where I was, clearly. But instead of her waiting or saying, excuse me, she hit me with her cart. Like, I don't even know if that was consciously, but she hit me with her cart, like getting to where I was, and like reached around me to get what she wanted. And I felt my blood go.
I'm so glad in any of these situations we not together.
But
boy,
I did confront her because I felt like, no, you can't just get away with that.
Yeah.
But I confronted her in a way that was a lot different than something I would have done before. I just said to her, did you realize you hit me with your cart?
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. But no, she wasn't. She didn't want to wait for me to do what I was going to do. And I said, oh, it's okay. I just wanted to make you aware of what you did, even though I know you're aware. And as I'm walking around the store, I'm seething because I'm so mad. And I'm like, God, you got to help me, because that was not what my normal reaction would have been.
Yeah.
So we already know how you would have handled that one.
I've gotten better. Thank God for my kids. I've gotten a whole lot better, because I don't want to carry that same, like, Okay, you reaching for this now, you're gonna be wearing it. Like, I can't do that anymore. Like, now the charges, like weighing the charges as an adult versus a minor. Like,
she's talking about charges.
Yeah,
y'all. Ain't
like,
nobody
now,
going to jail.
Like, if I throw something now, it's a whole thing. I'm the black angry woman, and now I gotta call somebody to come get my kids because I'm getting carried out of the store, and I'm getting carried. Like, if I'm going, I'm getting carried. I'm not gonna take it to a 9. It's gonna go to a 12. Like, so now just like, it would have taken a lot. But I think just educating people on what they're doing and making them aware of it. Yeah. Because that's how I want my kids to handle it. Like, I don't let nobody walk all over you, but I'm going to make it known.
Right. Yeah, and that was hard. It was hard to not go into straight gangsta mode of, what's wrong with you? Like, you're going to wait. And then old me, if I'm honest, would have took a little bit longer. To not allow her to get to where she was trying to get. I do that.
I do that. No, I do that. Like, especially driving is a big one for me. So if the light just turned green and you beep the horn at me, I'm staying there. I'm staying there for like, I'm counting to at least 5 Mississippi. And depending on if you keep beeping your horn, I'm going to sit there.
You get that from your dad.
Yeah, like, I bet. Because if you beep this horn at me and there's no reason, you're going to be mad.
But in those situations, I caution you because of how crazy people are. And mental illness is real. We know that. And you never know when somebody's going to go into a rage. You hear about it, people just jumping out the car and shooting somebody because of something so small. So you never know who's in the car behind you. So Sister Circle, I caution y'all too. Like, think about it. Is it really worth it?
If you get out your car, but like, y'all remember that game? I don't know if some of y'all play video games, but that Grand Theft Auto game.
Oh, so you know how to get away.
Grand Theft Auto, like, they used to have where people would come over and they had the little ammunition and they would come up to your car and they would snatch the person out of the car. And it was rated like really high because kids weren't allowed to play that game. Okay. But if you're behind me and you're getting out of your front car, first of all, I can see you get out of your car. Okay. I'm either going to drive off, or if I can't drive off, I'm backing up. Okay. And we can just, when the cops get here, we can explain why you might not even have a license to carry that, or carry a license to carry outside of your home. We can go there.
So if the gun's not, say they have a weapon, it's not displayed, and they get out and they're walking up to your car, are you still going to drive off?
Yeah, I'm automatically assuming good that if you're getting out of your car, it's not for a good reason. Yeah. So if you get out of your car, you might get hit. Okay. Because I'm either I can't drive off, I'm backing, I'm running you over.
As long as you are going to flight. Go into flight mode, not fight mode.
With my kids in the car, yes. But like, if I don't have my kids in my car, I'm getting out the car.
No.
Like, I'm getting out the car. I've had situations where I am.
Lord Jesus, I'm gonna be praying on this
I'm
one.
Getting out the car.
God is just showing me how to pray. Because you don't know what state of mind,
and they don't know what state of mind I'm in either.
But do we really want to take that chance though? Is it worth it? No.
It depends on what state I'm in.
Oh Lord, y'all.
It depends on what town I'm in.
Pray for my sis, y'all.
No, I'm not going to do that in Camden because I know better. I'm not going to do that in Philadelphia because I know better. But in Williamstown, depending on the street, because Williamstown can really cross over. You were in Sicklerville, you can't do that. Depending on what
mental illness is everywhere. Everywhere.
It depends.
No.
It depends. It depends on whether my gospel music is playing or they better pray is what's the new guy we listening to, Mike Teasy. If it's Mike,
that's trap gospel music, y'all.
If it's Mike Teasy, you might be able to get away with it. Yeah. But if I'm listening to Bone Thugs and Harmony,
well, I'm gonna be praying in the name of Jesus that you will go into flight mode, not fight mode, because it's not worth it. It ain't worth it. No, not worth it.
It depends. But
choosing our battles.
I do think like just educating people on how they feel so comfortable doing things out in the open. Yeah. Like the one woman who was surprised about my vehicle.
I forgot about that.
And waited in the parking lot to figure out who was driving this, and then proceeded to ask questions to make sure that my resume matched up to what I'm driving.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna put my kids in the car. Because I ain't know whether I was going to cuss or not. So I'm like, I'm going to put you in the car. Because the last time I cussed, Arya repeated it for like 2 weeks straight. So I'm very careful now. But yeah, I'm going to educate you. And I'm going to make you feel very uncomfortable. So the next time you'll think twice about having this conversation with somebody.
Yeah, and that's important. That is very important. And because of the type of person I was before and very non-confrontational, I would have never done that. I may have just imploded in a way or been petty and like stood there longer to not allow her to get there. But now being able to confront in a way, like you said, that's educational. I'm not being rude. I'm not giving off that angry black woman vibe, which people love to see. I am speaking from a level head and letting you know what you did, calling you out on it, because you're not just going to get away with it. So, yeah, we have to choose in those situations, but definitely I'm not letting you get away with it anymore. So that's just like the everyday situations that we are going to always encounter, whether it be at the gas station, in a store. You never know what people are dealing with, and just deciding when to engage and when to walk away.
Yeah.
And I wanted to talk more also about just a little bit deeper, like our relationships. It can be spousal relationship. It can be friends and what have you. Like knowing when to fight, what's important, what's not important in friendships, and so forth. Because like for me, and I've been vocal about that in the past, I struggle with that. So I'm just going to be quiet. I'm just not going to say nothing. I'm going to hold it all in. And then it comes out in other ways. Like you just angry for no reason.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing that no more.
I've gotten better at that. At least from the spousal part. Because now instead of, like my thing is clothes. Because I'm always washing clothes. So if I have a basket of clean clothes and you go digging for something and they all wind up on the floor, I'm usually spazzing out. I'm usually like, now I'm dumping all the clothes out and they all gonna sit on the floor. But now it's just like, did you notice that they all sitting on the floor? Or like, I know you're in a rush, but hey, this is the second time I picked them up. And just acknowledging that. And then giving him grace for the tally that I do in my head of everything that he's dealing with. So a lot of times, okay, this is getting on my nerves, but you got this, and this, and this to deal with. So I will pick up all of this stuff again, even though I'm boiling right now. But is it going to really help me adding one more thing to your plate when I can just pick it up? So like now, that's more so my mindset on that. And sometimes it works, and then other times it's just like, I gotta educate you because this is not gonna work.
But even in educating, you're educating in a way where it doesn't come off as, and this is what I had to learn, educating in a way where it doesn't come off as condescending, it doesn't come off as angry, it's just stating my point. And it took me a long time to get there too, but I agree with you. I love what you said about just doing it sometimes because it's not really going to add that much to what you have to do. And it's the same for me. Like before, where I would make a whole deal about something, and I had one of my friends tell me an example of the whole toilet seat issue was a big thing in our houses. And instead of slamming it down so you can hear me, like, bam, you didn't put this toilet seat down, it's going to take me less than 2 seconds to just put it down and sit down.
I'm not putting the toilet seat down.
So what are you going to do? You got to go to the bathroom. Slam it down?
No. You don't even want to know.
Never. Don't tell us. No. I'm about to clutch my pearls, y'all.
No, I would take it off.
Oh my God.
Like I would take it off. If you do not know how to and I have a son. So like if we get to the point where he's at a certain age and he's still leaving it up or pissing on the toilet seat, I'm taking it off. Now nobody got no toilet seat. Now everybody got a squat. Because I'm not doing it. Funny. I'm not doing it. And I'm throwing them out. Like I'm not even
so funny. She is petty, y'all.
We gonna learn this lesson. No.
Petty. Well, that explains why your son not only puts the toilet seat down, he puts the whole, like, he puts it, I'm like, okay.
Because he
knows. He's trained well.
Or I'll go lift them all up. Like, all right, Y'all know how to put them down. So now I'm lifting all of them up.
Oh my
He knows.
goodness.
Like to the point now, if he goes to the bathroom in his bathroom, he likes to stand up. But when he come using my bathroom, he's like, "Mommy, I gotta use the bathroom. I'm gonna sit down now."
Oh,
because he know.
Don't be
I don't want to.
splashing,
I'm be
don't.
sitting in nothing. I sit down now. Like,
That
he
is
just,
too
he know.
funny. Yeah, but for me, like it's made my life more peaceful. Not having those constant fights.
Yeah.
Oh, you left your shirt here. Oh, you left your hat here. Oh, you put your shoes on my white rug. No, but that was the educating moment. I did say, in that case, don't put them on the rug, okay? And it's like, okay, and you move them back. But old me, the way I would have came at you, didn't I told you not to put these on this rug?
Yeah.
That's already been. Then it's a whole argument.
Yeah.
So a kind word, I can't think of the scripture right now, but there's a scripture about that and how a kind word or a soft answer can totally change the narrative. So that's good. That's good.
I just think it's if I gotta repeat myself, it's like how many times?
I told you about my situation with that.
Yeah, and then just the example. I think too, because the example of kids. So like one thing that I changed in my household was my husband would get up, and when he's done, he would either leave his empty plate sitting on the table, or he would put it on the counter. So then my kids started doing it, regardless of whatever I tell them to do, because they taught them they know how to pack up their food or throw it out and put it in the sink. My son will load the dishwasher. But then they see dad doing something different, and then it's like, okay, hey, I know when it was just us, we were used to doing it this way, and it's fine. But now, not only am I cleaning up your plate, which I don't mind if it's just his plate, but now it's creating this atmosphere of it's acceptable for them to do it. And that's what I don't want.
No.
Or my son leaving it and thinking that his sisters is going to get it. We're not doing this. We're not doing this role where that's acceptable according to what gender you are. So it's like, no, we have to change that.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good, and that is very important because ultimately kids are always watching. They're watching everything we do is learned behavior. We were talking about that the other day, just in normal, chores and everything that we do. It's all learned behavior. So yeah, that's really important. That was an educational moment that's worth it.
I get to put a lot of stuff on my kids though. Cause I'd be like, okay, well, we don't want to do this because of them.
Right.
So I get away with a lot of stuff. Yeah, I get away with a lot of stuff. Like, okay, I'm constantly taking out the trash. The kid, it needs to be a balance. I don't believe it's a gender role, but I shouldn't be the only one taking out the trash. My girls need to learn how to take out the trash just like my son does.
Because they need to be independent as they get older. So yeah, that's true. That's all true, and just in families and our relationships and so forth. I wanted to talk too about business relationships. That's where it gets a little more tricky because I've talked about my corporate stuff, and knowing when to fight in those situations, but like also in partnerships and business and what your goals are and so forth, and knowing when to say, okay, no, I don't agree with that. And conflict comes up in those ways, or when to just go with the flow for the sake of business. Yeah.
When I was in a corporate setting, where I had to report to someone, if I didn't agree with something, I did the homework to come up with different solutions. So it was like, okay, hey, can we have a meeting? I don't think this way works, but can we do a trial of a week or two and try these different ones and see if this works better? And if not, then we got to go back to the way I don't like doing it. Yeah. But at least, you know what, let me try to figure this out. So that way it's like, oh, she just don't want to do her work, or she just, but no, I'm going to try to figure out different ways to do it.
That's good. I noticed you also use that in your home life as well, which is good. And I've adopted that as well from you, showing an example of not just complaining about something, but being solution based. Okay, well, can we do this instead? And if it doesn't work, then we're good. But that's really good in the corporate setting. And a lot of times you don't find that. Like you have a lot of people that just want to complain about stuff instead of coming up with a solution. So now nothing gets accomplished. Yeah. And I don't like that too much, y'all. That's a problem for me. But like even in now, like being an entrepreneur, like knowing when to, you have clients that are challenging. So knowing when to say, because ultimately when you have a client, you work for them. So that's where the lines kind of get kind of tricky. Like how much you could say, how much you could do.
Oh no, entrepreneurial for me is completely different. I say whatever I want to say.
But how, sis?
Because we have this rule where not all money is good money.
Yeah, that's true.
So there's not an amount, and I had to learn this. There's not an amount of money that I will sacrifice my peace for.
Yeah, that's true.
It's priceless. So if you're coming at me, we had this one client, I will not say her name.
Please don't.
But I got to a point with her where I told her what you are asking and what you are requiring for on a business front, it's not equating to what your budget is. So we can either, and I was willing to work with her. We can either try this. We did. I was like, we're going to try this for 30 days. I'm going to give you a 30-day trial. But with this 30-day trial, I can almost guaranteed that your profit margin is going to increase. Okay. When that profit margin increase, now you're going to pay me what I'm originally worth.
Right.
Because now I'm bringing you in more money. Usually that'll work. Okay, now that you got the revenue, pay me what I'm worth because this is what I'm bringing in.
And now that they see it, they should. So, and I mean, what a great way to avoid confrontation or a battle or a fight. And just like you said, offering a solution or a trial to say, this is what we propose. And if we deliver, then you give us.
There's honestly some people that have double back.
Wow.
That same client decided, I can't, and he was honest, I can't afford this right now. I have a family member who can do this cheaper. Okay.
Wow.
For 3 months.
I would be pissed though after I've showed you.
We were so quiet. For 3 months, they went with that other person. And I mean, this was a client who was largely contributing to our lifestyle. And we had to let them go for 3 months. Wow. And we prayed about it.
Yeah.
And 3 months later, that person came back. But by the time they came back, our process was no longer working because you had 3 months of not having the marketing, of not being in people's faces. You dropped on Google Ads. So now when we search you, you're not even coming up on the first page anymore. So now we're back to square one of doing our work all over again. And they wanted it instant. Like, okay, well, we're back with you. This is the first month we're not seeing. But you want me to do what took us 6 months to do in 1 month when you dropped. You dropped it.
Wow.
And now our prices have went up. So what you were locked in at one price, you're not going to get that price.
Yeah. Now you got to pay extra to get back to where you were.
Right.
Woo.
But that's a loyal client now. We ain't losing you no more because now you know. Sometimes it's a learning lesson. And there's people that can't come back to where my husband like, well, we only gonna work with them if you feel like dealing with it. And I don't feel like dealing with it.
No, not when you know.
No,
not when you know. But look at God. You prayed about it.
Yeah, and they wound up coming back.
Yeah. Wow, that's good. That's all good. But when I think about all of the battles that we talked about, just situational, relationships, business, the main thing that I ask myself now, and I read it somewhere, I can't remember where it was, but this situation that I'm facing, like how important is it? Is it something that would matter to me in a year, in 2 years, in 5 years, 10 years? If not, guess what? It's not even worth it. You know, like, and especially in relationship with my husband or like friends or people that are really close to me. I'm at the point now where in everything that I do and everything that I say, I'm treating it as, okay, what if this was the last interaction that I had with this person? So although it may be something tough that I need to say, like really coming from a position of love in everything. And it's challenging. Like a lot of times I have to take a minute, and I've said to my husband, give me a minute. Kind of like, let me think about this for a little bit before I come back to you, because the answer is not going to be in love. Yeah. And even just sometimes watching my husband as he's walking out the door, you know, as we pray over our spouses and all of that stuff, and just thinking about all of the things that I dwelled on that weren't even important in my marriage over the years, you know?
Yeah, it's set on.
Woo.
I think my biggest battle is me.
Yeah.
Like that's my internal struggles and my battles from day to day. Sometimes of not wanting to get up in the morning. Sometimes of just so much in the routine where it was just like I'm just stuck.
You're just kind of existing.
Yeah,
and
it's
going
just another
through
day.
the norm. It's almost like Groundhog's Day. Every day you wake up and it's just a repeat over and over again. But we're gonna come back to that. Yeah, we're gonna come back to that and talk about that. You know, because it's almost time for us to wrap up. But it's a whole nother story, situation, scenario of the spiritual battles that we face, and that's what that is.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't talk about that because it goes so much deeper than the surface stuff that we're talking about. But we talking about everything. Because you think about just in the daily struggles, spiritual struggles, it takes so much time and energy. And that's why with you're like, okay, I don't feel like doing nothing today. You know, nothing today. I may be on a little bit of sleep because the kids didn't sleep or stuff was going on. And then you got to go out and face all of these things, these constant battles, situationships that come up every day. And that is tough, y'all. That's tough. But like even in our day to day with, and I'll say more of our friendships, our relationships, because some things just don't matter. And my pastor was actually doing a series of family, friends, and everybody else. And she was talking about the importance of like our family and our friends, and then like everybody else don't even really matter. So I think we give way too much energy to those battles and those situations that really don't matter. So it's deciding if we want to address them or if we want to just move on. And just from our conversation so far, like and what we talked about, sometimes like 90% of the time, it ain't even worth it. It's just a kind of move on moment.
Then I gotta control myself in order to be able to move on. Cause like nobody really taught us how to do that. They be like, oh, just move on and let it go. Bye.
Yeah, right.
How am I supposed to let this go?
That's so true. That is so true. I don't know. Well, like with anything else, it's with God. You know, like Him helping us to move past it or giving it to Him and saying, you do what you want to do with this. Like, honestly, that's the only way I can move on from stuff. Because if not, it's going to keep going on over and over and over in my mind. And we ain't about to do that.
Yeah.
You're not about, I'm not doing that no more. But I've also learned that if it's one of those situations where we decide not to move on and we want to talk about it, to listen to understand. Because I've always been the type to listen to respond. Like I got it all played out in my head. You know, or may even have something written down somewhere.
I do that. Like I've gotten to the point where some people I know what they're gonna say before they say it.
So you ready?
I got a whole script. Wow. I'm gonna say this. He gonna say this. I'm gonna say we have been in marriage
like
class.
If
we have been. All right, you got multiple choice A, B, or C of things that you can say, and I have like a diagram chart of an arrow going to my correspondent to whatever you're about to say. And my counselors, they had a field day.
So do you take your notes in there
I sure do.
Y'all, she petty.
I sure do. That composition notebook.
She pulled it out.
I got bunny ears according to what topic we on now. And there's also evidence for everything that we've talked about and everything we had to fight and come to agreement on.
But you're fighting in a healthy way because you're in counseling.
Yeah, now.
Yeah, so that's good.
But sometimes I was going with that book was a grenade. Like let's set it off. Let's go.
Girl.
With text messages and everything. Like, okay, you didn't say that? Okay, well here's the evidence for whole
not pulling it out.
Yes, whole courtroom. Like yes, videos.
But are you now listening to listening and understanding or seeking to understand at least?
Yeah, because I
see the growth.
Yeah, I hold everybody accountable to everything that they say.
Yeah.
So don't get in there and say I didn't say it or I ain't mean it like this. My thing is don't tell me you didn't mean it like this when it's written out like this,
Yeah.
or the tone when it's recorded and it's aired out, you're cringing because you didn't want somebody else to hear it. Now I think in my conversations with anybody, I talk to majority of the people like somebody else is going to hear it.
Okay.
So now it's just like, okay, I know, and sometimes it stops me, other times honestly it doesn't. Like if it's a conversation and I can't even remember like some of the arguments, but there's been times where I'm just like, oh, I'm fully aware that I'm about to cuss you out, and I'm okay if there's a recording
with it.
and it's played back.
Oh gosh. So you're in the moment. You understand, you're clear, this is what I'm about to do.
Yes.
This is what it's going to be.
I'm never like, I haven't in, I want to say at least 5 years, blacked out and just had a whole angry rampage, not being aware of what I was doing.
Okay.
The only time that I have really been like that is because of somebody, one of my sisters. Like somebody's coming after her, and now I'm blacking out.
Yeah.
And now it's, I see red, and now you better run.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're on my territory. Like how we talk about territory.
Yeah,
you're on my
you in my
territory,
house.
and I'm a Doberman Pinscher, and I've got you cornered. But other than that, I'm usually very aware of what I'm about to do.
Well, like I said, I see the growth, and I thank God for that. I thank God that it's been 5 years and you haven't had one of those moments. I see your growth in knowing when to fight, when it's not important to fight, if for nothing else, to protect your mental state, your mental sanity. So we're getting better. Yeah. We're growing. You're learning when not to fight, and I'm learning when to fight.
It's like a complete opposite.
Yes, like completely opposite ends of the spectrum. But the most important point is that we only have so much time on this earth and this life. And it's crazy that I'm thinking about everything in that way and having a meaningful life. Yeah. So how much am I going to let just the everyday mundane stuff disturb my peace? I'm not doing that anymore. Yeah. We're addressing it if we need to. If we don't need to, we're going to keep it moving and keep basking in the glow of the beauty of the day that God has blessed us with.
Yes. I do want to leave our sisters with something, because I know we were talking about how do I get over this? What do I do? Some of the things that me and my husband do when we're mad, maybe at each other, maybe not, but he goes to the gun range. He loves going to the gun range. He's like, all right, I'm out. Especially the outdoor one. I gotta find out which one the outdoor one is. But he now does trainings now too.
Oh, that's
where
cool.
he can take somebody who doesn't have their license and take them and do like their own target practice. So he does that. He gets a joy out of it because it's something that's not, it's not business related, and it's just
it's
him being able, just turn everything off. Mine is now enjoying to play with my kids. So it's like, all right, I'm gonna play with my kids. I'm gonna focus my energy on that. We gonna get in some water. We gonna play. I'm gonna go in my garden. I'm gonna walk barefoot through my garden. Or we gonna have a karaoke at home, and I'm gonna blast this music until I'm no longer upset. Right. So just finding those
doing
things.
Something fun. Something fun. Something that's an outlet. Some childlike behavior, which we talked about before, playing jacks or jumping rope or whatever. Yeah, that's good.
I can't wait to teach my kids how to jump rope.
That's good.
Yeah.
Or Nurture the Love.
Oh yeah.
They're doing jump rope. Like the founder is actually joined a jump rope group for people over 40. And I'm like, that is so cool. I can't jump.
I don't know if I can still do it. Because they say like you never forget. But
it's like riding a bike. You might be able to. I
don't know if I can ride a bike anymore.
You can do
like,
it.
Lord.
You can do it. You might be able to. So, sisters, we are going to start to wrap up there. The main takeaway is that we only have one life to live. Yes. Our time is limited here on earth. We want to make it a meaningful life. We are going to come back and talk about the spiritual side of our battles, because that is also very important. So stay tuned for that for the next episode. Yes. And we want to wrap up with our question, which is,
what does sisterhood mean to you?
Well, based on everything that we discussed today and fighting our battles, knowing when to fight, fight or flight. For me, it is understanding. It's understanding because in a sisterhood, there's always going to be conflict, right? Understanding when to respect your differences and move on and recognizing that we're all different versus when we need to actually have a conversation to move past it. Yeah. So understanding that we're all different.
Yeah.
What about you?
Mine's is unleashing, taking away power from my fear.
That's good.
Because I have a problem with realizing that not everybody is for me. Not everybody is my sister. Not everybody is my friend. Not everybody fits. And for what season? I always want everybody to be long term. I want everybody to stay.
Yes.
And just realizing and putting those things in the right category. Like not every battle, not every argument is what they call it, the level one. Like not everything is a level one. Not everything is the White House is falling down, because I just got finished watching one of those movies. Not everything is required to have all your men on the field.
Like, that's good. Yeah. Look at God. Thank you, Jesus.
Like even with when I look at like the battle of chess, like I was at a point where if you take one of my pawns, we fighting.
Yeah.
Like now it's just like, okay, some stuff can be sacrificed, and I think just for me allowing myself to know that, and to know getting out of that, everything has to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be all the birds is singing all the time.
Yes.
Not every relationship is perfect. And it's just majority of people that I was surrounded by painted it like that.
Yeah, that's
so
the
it's just like, so you never
that.
Just okay, I want my kids to see the ups and downs, so they have a better grasp of that. Yeah. They need to see some fights, and they need to see the makeup part of that too.
Yeah. So they're not shocked into reality when they get out in life. And this is such a moment. Like for everything that you said, you hear me over here like rejoicing, because for you it was all or nothing. In friendships and everything, it's like either it's 100% or it's nothing. Either you're my friend or you're not. Yeah, like but people are in different categories. It don't mean you have to just cut them off. Like you're done. And like you said, different seasons. Some people are in our life just for a season. We let them go. I ain't mad. I'm good. We let them go. Yeah. Or they move into a different category. Everything don't have to be tunnel vision. Yeah. So, to God be the glory for that moment. Yeah, I'm glad.
I like to meet people and automatically be able to put them in like, okay, what type of friend are you? And what type of friend am I? Yeah. And just realizing what type of friend I am. Because I feel like I over-exuded myself trying to be everything to everybody when I'm really not that type of friend. Right. Like one of my girlfriends, she was like, do not call her. Not unless you want her to pull up. Yeah. Because that's the type of friend she is. Right. If you call me crying, I already got my keys. Where's the address? I'm coming. I'm that type of friend. I'm not the type of friend that's going to be at every event or
and it's
like,
okay.
And it's finally being okay with that.
Yeah. But like you said, it's because we're undoing learned behavior and processing things differently. So again, to God be the glory for growth. And we're going to leave it at that. Yes. And we are going to wrap up. So thank you again for joining us. And everyone enjoy the rest of your day. And we will see you soon.
See you.
Bye.